everyone, it's Lisa from My Dreaming Soap. Welcome to my channel. It's soap challenge time again today. Now for this challenge we're doing drop swirls. There's various different types of drop swirls you can do for the challenge. In the category that I compete in, which is the winners category, we have rules that say we have to do a drop swirl in a normal loaf mould, and it can be any type of drop swirl, but also we have to do another technique as well, so a drop swirl and something else. So what I'm going to start off doing is I'm going to do my entire soap as a drop swirl, and then I'm going to add the extra technique to it, and we'll see how I'm going to do that as we go along. Now the type of drop swirl I'm going to be doing is the mini drop technique, so I'm not going to be pouring my drops out of a jug. I'm going to be filling up some squeeze bottles, and I've put some little pipettes on as extensions, and I'm going to be using my squeeze bottles to put the drops into the soap. Okay, so it's going to be what they call the sort of mini drop swirl technique. So I've got here all of the oils I need. Now my drop swirl soap is going to be, because it's drops, it's going to be like a water type theme. So what I've got here, these are all the oils that I need. And the colours I'm going to be using, this is Blueberry Mica, and this is from Pure Rock Colours. It's dispersed in some of my batch oils. This is Electric Blue, and again that's from Pure Rock Colours. And I've also got a little mixture here of some Electric Blue and titanium dioxide, which is going to be used to colour the bulk of my soap. I'm not probably going to be using all of this, I just want the background, the bulk of the soap, to be quite light, so I may not use it all. Right, I'm going to put this aside for a second and then get our soap blended up. So I've got my oil and lye solution, and they're a fairly low temperature. They're both at low 80s degrees Fahrenheit. I've just measured them. My oil was about 82 and my lye solution was about 83. And I want to keep this nice and fluid because I don't want it to thicken up while I'm trying to get those drops in. So I'm only going to blend it a little bit and then just take a little bit of time sorting out those colours. So let's get this blended. Okay, I think it's going to do for now. It may not be fully emulsified, that's fine, I can sort that out later. Now I'm going to take a quarter of this soap off for my drops. Now that may be a little bit too much for this technique, but what I'm aware of is, because I'm using squeeze bottles, I'm going to lose some of the soap in the squeeze bottles. I can still use the soap, but I'll obviously just use it in some sample soaps or something, but it's just not going to flow out nicely for the drops. So that little bit extra is probably going to be fine. So I'm just going to get this split up and I'll come back when I've done that. Okay, so those are my two blues I've split off, and I'm now just going to start working on this main batch. As I said, I'm slightly concerned actually. I'm going to mix this in so I can see the colour of this. Oh, that's a nice strong dark colour, but I do want to make sure obviously that my drops are going to stand out. So I need to be a little bit careful about how much colourant I put in here. Oh, oh dear. That's not really what we wanted. Okay. Right, so let's gradually work on this. Okay, I think that's a good colour now that I've got that all blended in, so that's nice. This is my Electric Blue, I'm happy with that. And let's make sure this blueberry is a nice dark colour as well, so this, we need it to be different enough. Yeah, that's pretty different, isn't it? That's really nice dark blue. Okay, so I think I'm happy with those. They do look like three quite strikingly different blues. I don't think we're going to have any problem seeing those in the soap. Now fragrance oil, the fragrance I'm going to be using is Paradisiac from Stock Fragrance, and I've chosen this because it, to me, sort of has like a beachy sort of feel to it, but also as well is it keeps your trace really fluid. Okay, so I'm going to add this in. collapsing most of it into that base, about 3/4 of it into there, and then splitting the other bits. Okay, now I'm just going to tip this up the jug and just check to make sure these are properly emulsified. But I am going to wait till I've got sort of the lightest trace on here, because I want these drops to form in the soap. I don't want them to just all disperse, and if they're not emulsified, or if it's too light a trace, the drops won't form their shape. So I'm just going to keep an eye on that for a minute, and then I will come back when I think it's ready to pour. I'm getting pretty ready to start the pour, so I'm going to load up my squeeze bottles. So that's my electric blue, and this is my blueberry, which is a really dark blue. Right, so that's everything nice and secure. I think I've got almost the lightest trace. It's just past emulsion here, so this may be a little bit thin, but I'm going for it anyway. Okay, so let's get this poured into the mould. Okay, so it'll be looking a little bit low at the moment, but that's fine, because obviously as I put these drops in, it's going to fill that up. Right, let's get these drops in. Now I'm going to start from the bottom and work my way up, but I need to sort of do it in layers, as it were, because, you know, I don't want one lot of drops to mess up the other. Okay, so I'm just gently squeezing as I go through. And I'm not taking the drop out at the end, the dropper out, just because the fewer times you can take it out, the less chance you've got of adding some air bubbles to your soap. Yeah, a bit of weird leakage there. I'm not that impressed with these. The soap seems to be coming down the outside of the dripper, so I'm hoping I haven't got extra lines in my soap, but we will see. This bottle's really annoying me, just won't stay closed. I've used them once before. I don't think I'll be using them again. I might go back to my old ones where I used to just stick the pipettes on the outside of them, because I'm definitely screwing them up properly. Okay, I'm going to leave it at that. I'm just going to put some of this excess on the top so I can just get a nice little swirl on the top. Okay, so let's just get this top swirled. Okay, so there's the top done. There's that stage one of the soap done, the actual drop swirl. So I'm going to now pop this away overnight to C-pop, and then we'll carry on with that and finish it off tomorrow. Here's our soap the next day, so let's get it cut, shall we? I'm a little bit nervous about the inside because of that issue I had with those squeeze bottles, which I will not be using again. And let's hope we've got some nice droplets inside. Let's have a look. Okay, so I've got all my little droplets. I'm happy with those. And now what I need to do is I need to use these to produce my second technique. So what I'm going to do with these now is I'm going to punch out some larger drop shapes. Okay, so there's my first little one cut. And these inside bits won't be wasted. They're really cute themselves. So I might even just use them for embeds in another soap, because they'll be really cute. Okay, so there's that one. I'm going to carry on punching these holes. I'm actually going to do 2 holes in each one. So look, you can see I've already done a couple. I'm going to do 2 holes in each one. So I'm just going to carry on cutting those, and then I'll show you what I'm going to do inside those bits. So I've got all my soaps pressed out. Let's just move those out of the way for a minute. And what I now need to do is fill those with soap. So it's a bit precarious. To work out my soap, I've taken all my little bits that I've cut out. They're really cute, aren't they? They'll make some lovely embeds in another soap. So you can see that they weigh 445 grams. So that can be used for the calculation for the soap I need to pour back in. Now, when you're working out how to make up the oils for that, remember what you need to do is we need to say, okay, that's 445 grams of, remember that's of soap. Then you need to times that by the amount of oils that you have in your recipe, and mine's about 70%. So I know that if I made up soap with 311 grams of oils, then that would be enough to fill those holes. I'm going to do some little pictures in mine. So I'm going to have 2 little scenes. One of them is going to be, and you can see I've extruded this already, this cute little duck on some water is going in the bottom one. And then in the top one, I'm going to have 2, well, that's a bit scruffy that end, let's have a see, 2 cute little fish in the top one. And they're going to have, these white bits are going to be little bubbles, and this yellow bit is going to be a sun behind the duck. So I am going to need less soap than I've worked out, but I'm going to be mucking around doing little scenes and that, so I'd rather make a little bit more soap and then have a little bit left. And if I have a little bit left, well then that's fine. I can always make some little mini soaps, can't I, and just pop these into them and use them up in another way. So I've not got a problem with using a little bit more soap. What I want to do is trim these embeds. Now my soap is 2.5 centimetres thick, so ideally I need the embeds 2.5 centimetres. But what I tend to do is always make them a little bit longer so that they can stick out and be a bit proud, because I'd rather they were a bit proud, sticking out of the soap a little bit, so that I can then plane them off or cut them off flush in line with the bar, rather than they were too low. I'm basically going to do them sort of 3 centimetres each. That should be fine. Okay, so look, my little duck is so cute. So I'm going to cut all those up at sort of 3 centimetres. I find a palette knife is quite a nice thing to cut them with because it's got a nice sharp blade. This one's a bit wobbly though, but I'm sure that will be fine. Okay, so again, I'm going to carry on with that. Okay, so those are all my little ducks done. Okay, and they're just going to sit in that little drop, and I'm just going to cut up the others. I've got all of my prep work done, so I've got all my little embeds chopped up just here, and then I've mixed up some soap that I just worked out how much I needed, as you saw with that sort of weighing method, and I've done 80% of it with the electric blue, which is the same as the brighter blue drops, and then I've done 20% with this dark blueberry. So I'm going to go in with the blueberry first. Now what I've done is I've warmed the blueberry segment a bit more, and I've blended it more, so it's actually holding its shape a little bit more. With the lower drop, I'm just going to fill in a bit for the water area that the duck's going to be sitting on. So I'm just going to blob a bit in each first. Okay, so I'm just going to keep mucking around with those, and as they set up, obviously it will hold in position better. But I'm just going to keep adding bits. I'm nearly out of soap anyway, to the ones that look a little low. I don't think I'm far off actually, there's a low one. And then now I'm just going to go in and add in these cute little ducks. Right, so there's my little ducks in. Now the rest of everything needs to be filled with this electric blue. Okay, so there's all finished off. And I don't know if you can see, but what I've tried to do is get the new loose soap, the new fluid soap, above the shape of the teardrop. I won't actually plane the whole sides. I will probably go with a palette knife and just slice those bits off. What I am going to do is I'm just going to spend a little bit of time, I'm not going to do it on camera here, just going through, getting any excess off, or filling in any low parts, just so that when I come to finishing them off tomorrow, then they're going to be easier to do. Here we are with our soaps the next day. So all I need to do, obviously I don't need to cut them, they're already in bars. All I need to do is just sort of level off these little shapes. Now they're going to be nice and easy to unmould because it was just literally soap that I just popped down onto a sheet. And I still obviously need to bevel these to smarten them up. So the way I'm going to do this is I'm going to play around till I find the right tool. I'm going to start with something just like a palette knife. And what I'm trying to do is just ease this off. I'm going to get the bulk of it off first, so it's as level as I can get it. There we are, that's really cute. And I'm going to do the same here. Now it may mean that for the ones for the challenge club, I may plane the front of them just to make them look super smart. But I'm not a big fan of planing soaps because to me it's just a waste of soap normally. So for the three we have to present for the challenge, I may do that. I don't know. If I can get them nice and smooth at this stage, then I probably won't even bother doing that. Okay, so I'm just working at this excess until I've just got it flat and I've revealed that nice little design in the drop. Okay, so there we are. So there's our first one. As I said, I need to tidy up a little bit, but that's my little duck with the sun in the background and then my little fish swimming in the sea. So I'm going to just carry on and finish all these ones off, and then I'll just leave you with some final photos at the end.
And here's a final photo of the soap. These didn't end up being my soap challenge entry, mainly just because of the actual mini drops in the back of the soap. I just didn't think they were of good enough standard, and the design of those little mini drops just didn't come out how I really wanted to, partly because of those squeeze bottles I was using. But anyway, I did make a different soap. This is the soap I made, my Venom soap, for the soap challenge, and I'll leave a link to that one in the description below. I hope you've enjoyed this video and you like the soap. If you have, it would be great if you gave me a thumbs up, and if you'd like to see what I'm making in the future, why not subscribe to my channel. Thanks for watching everyone. Happy soaping!